F1 Manager 24 for some career mode, round 8 at the Imola Romagna Grand Prix.
Welcome along to Italy, and welcome along to Imola. Just outside Bologna in northern Italy, Imola hosts the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, named after the region it sits in. Surrounded by woodland, this iconic track is rich with Formula One history and the legends of those who raced here.
Red Bull have outscored their rivals to be at the top of the constructors' table right now. But all the teams are fighting hard and there's everything to play for.
The weekend begins here.
Both drivers fully confident, very confident coming into qualifying.
Welcome to the much anticipated qualifying session.
Qualifying at Imola can be a tricky red flag strewn affair. Teams need to prioritise getting a banker lap in, rather than risk leaving it too late and having to settle for a subpar time.
Charles Leclerc has been a talking point for many of late. Karun, how do you think he's doing so far?
We saw them set an impressive lap time in practice, so it's a great start as they move into qualifying. But as we all know, a good performance in practice doesn't guarantee success over the rest of the weekend.
Well, we're certainly ready in the commentary box. The drivers are getting ready down in the pit lane, and it's time for qualifying.
I can't lie, I love UCut editing app, but I am starting to prefer CapCut just because it was a bit quicker. Whereas this, when editing it, it can feel like you're going through a slideshow. Perez coming through the first sector, he's going to do a 22.7. Bottas is going to do a 22.9. I don't know an awful lot about this Grand Prix because I filmed it weeks ago. Like weeks ago, it's just been sitting here and I've not done anything about it. Bottas gets slightly blocked there. Perez comes through the final chicane, down towards Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Our first and only lap in Q1. What will it put us? Perez comes up towards the line and it's going to be P3 for him, and Bottas goes up towards the line. P12, good enough to make Q2 with both drivers. Coming into Q2, our first lap in Q2 on a scrub set of soft compounds, the same set of soft compounds we used in Q1. Sorry if you just heard my door go. I should really have shut it before we started this, but hey. Coming in towards turn 7 Tosa, and then down towards the second sector. Hopefully we won't catch up to that Ferrari and the McLaren and co. Down towards the final sector, which they won't because they should be preparing to start their flying lap now. Bottas is quicker in the second sector, Perez is quicker in the first sector, up towards the line, coming through Ravazza 2, now up towards the line, sorry. Perez is going to go with a 12.46, Bottas is going to go across the line with a 12.1, and that sees them 7th and 9th in Q2 as they head into Q3. I'm hoping we can get top 5, I reckon, because our quali pace has never been great. Our race pace is good, very good, but our quali pace is not great, which is okay because the points are scored in the race, not qualifying. So yeah, Perez goes purple in the first sector, but Bottas nabs it off him. I believe we have 2 fresh runs for Q3, so both laps will be on a fresh set. 22.9 for both drivers though in sector 1. Perez does a 24.5, Bottas does a 24.6. There's about probably 200ths between them, possibly in Perez's favour. Perez comes up towards the line and he does a 12.114, and Bottas does a 12.057, and they're currently P6 and P8 as they start their last lap in qualifying. And my nose is starting to block, which isn't very nice. So Perez is going to go yellow in the first sector. Bottas on sorry. Bottas also goes yellow in the first sector. My oh my, sorry you had to hear that. Sonoda's just gone quickest. Hamilton's 86,000 from pole. Piastri's gone P4. Leclerc's gone P5. Verstappen might not be on it. Yes, he is. There's a Mercedes of Russell going P6. Perez is going to come up towards the line, and he's not going to improve, and Bottas is going to come up towards the line and improve to P6, and Alonso stays P10. Norris goes P4. We are P7 and P9 for the start of the Grand Prix. Ouch.
Not long until we get going here in Italy, with 63 laps of hard-fought motor racing.
Imola can really reward consistency, as Nigel Mansell showed here in 1992 when he became the first driver to ever win the opening 5 Grand Prix of a season.
This is an old-school track with plenty of elevation changes and lots of corners. There's only one DRS zone here though, and it follows the long straight right before Tamburello and should see plenty of action. The teams are making their final preparations down in the pit lane, ahead of today's race. Well then, it's not long until we get started here, and we should be in for a tightly contested race. If Pierre Gasly's feeling the pressure, he's certainly not showing it.
P20 is definitely not where any driver would want to find themselves, but they've got to get their head down and work hard.
This should certainly be a good one, folks. The crowd are on their feet in anticipation of this, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we...
One thing I do know about this Grand Prix is it's going to be wet. We are starting on wets. It's going to go to inters, then to dries. But do you stay on the wets and wear them out and overheat them? Or do you pit for a set of inters and means you have to make an extra stop?
Now we're
Perez
watching the
overtakes
action
Alonso
closely
apparently.
here. Can they squeeze by?
Nice down the inside there, just before
Take a look
Aquaminarali.
Now this was Valtteri Bottas.
And Bottas overtakes for
The
P7
opportunity begging
against
to be
Russell.
taken.
So they're both up to the positions they started the race in, which is great because they lost one off the start. And Perez is now going for a move on George Russell up to P8. And Bottas, I don't know how, but we're being quick. Bottas goes up to P6. Perez goes up to P7. We are climbing up the order. Bottas is on lap 13. It's going to go down the inside of Leclerc for
This was at
P5.
turn 15.
I'm going to get a replay of it. It was that good, although apparently not. And on lap 16, both our drivers coming in for inters. I feel like one of them we should have pit a lap earlier than the other, because now they're going to get held up behind each other. But oh well, nobody else is coming in for the inters. And that wasn't great, but it wasn't awful either. 2.7 second stop for Perez, 2.6 for Bottas. Bottas is out in P15 and Perez is out in P17, but they can definitely make this work as Bottas gets up to P14 overtaking Hulkenberg, and up to P13 overtaking Antonelli, and then up to P12 overtaking Alex Albon, and then Perez overtakes Hulkenberg. Bottas overtakes Stroll, who has a mechanical issue. Bottas overtakes Lawson. Perez overtakes Stroll, and it's starting to dry up already. In fact, I think it has just got dry. Bottas overtakes Sainz. Perez overtakes Sainz. Bottas overtakes Alonso up to P8 and P10. Perez sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but it's going dry, so that won't stand. Bottas passes Russell. Perez passes Russell. We're back up to where we were. I don't know why I'm showing you me saving it, because that's got any relevance whatsoever. I feel like this is a bit where I've missed to edit. Yes, it is. Perez overtakes Russell, and everybody is coming in for... Leclerc and Piastri come in for inters. So, no, they can't. Do they come in for tries? I don't know. We're currently P5 and P6, and our drivers go through each other in the pit lane. Brill, and we nearly caught up to Tsunoda, so the inters was the strat. If we had pit one lap earlier, the inters were probably the strat. And we're going to be held in the pits. Perez with a 2.4, Bottas with a 2.5, that's not bad. Perez, who's in front, is going to be out in P6. Bottas going to be out in P9. Not great for Bottas, but Perez straight away up into P6, ahead of Norris. Yellow flag in sector 1, I think that was, and Bottas is past Albon. And here's Norris going for a move on Sergio Perez. Nice and tidy DRS pass down the straight. Not a lot we could have done about that, but hey ho, is what it is. And Perez goes past Norris into the chicane, and then Perez dives Norris into Aquaminarali. They seem to do a lot of fighting in awkward places, these two. And Bottas is just having a bit of a lonely race, 5 seconds behind these two. 6.7 clear of George Russell. He's just having a bit of his own race. 34 laps. Lap 34. Now lap 36, Norris gets back past. Lap 37, we get back past as Norris gets into the DRS range of Tsunoda. So now Perez is up to P5 and he set the fastest lap. But then Perez gets overtaken by Norris and Tsunoda has gone and overtaken one of the Ferraris. And there's Ollie Behrman spinning right in front of the lead fight. Tsunoda's overtaken Piastri and Leclerc. Perez gets Norris. Norris gets Perez. And here's Lance Stroll doing Lance Stroll things. That's my goat. Bottas comes in on lap 45, I believe, for a pair of softs, if I'm not mistaken. Am I mistaken? Is it a pair of softs? No, it's another pair of mediums, because obviously it's a wet to dry race. You don't need to use two different dry compounds. You can do the same dry compound twice. So Bottas comes out P10. I'm sure they were mediums, but he's on a set of softs. Okay, Perez comes in. He is definitely got mediums. What's he going to be on? Set of softs. 2.6 second stop, by the way. It's a decent stop. No, Perez is actually on mediums. Okay. Perez overtakes George Russell, and I believe Bottas got Alonso. Previous lap, now Bottas gets Russell, and we finish the race. P7 were fastest lap, and P8 only 3 seconds behind Piastri. So maximum was probably P5 stay if we'd pit. Probably 1 lap earlier for those fresh tries and 1 lap earlier for the enters. But it is what it is.
There, coming back to the team now.
That marked an 8th place finish, which gives them a handful of points.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet another podium to his already impressive record.
Win number 5 is in the bag. They pulled out all the stops, pushing hard to earn that victory.
Well, Formula One certainly feels at home in Italy, and it looks like those three feel right at home too. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
They didn't do too badly today. A pretty respectable outcome as far as they'll be concerned. But they need to keep pushing. They can't afford to sit back.
And that's about it for our time here in Imola.
We now look ahead to the next round in Monza in Italy. The Temple of Speed is waiting and the teams will be ready and raring to go.
And results, we are P7 up 2 places with the fastest lap and P8 down 1 with Bottas. Yeah, 16.154 was the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Verstappen wins from the 2 Ferraris, I believe. Yeah, from Leclerc, from Hamilton and Leclerc. Perez stays P3 in the driver's standings. Bottas goes down 1 to 8th. Although Perez is coming under threat from Tsunoda, I believe that is behind. We stay P3 in the constructors, but Ferrari had 33 points on us. We gain a place on VCARB in the pit stop championship. We get our sponsor target, that's all we can worry about. Perez goes up a rating in driver performance, and now we're doing some design on the rear wing, and I believe we might even do some research as well. But if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time for Monza at the Temple of Speed in Italy. Goodbye for now.